Hi everyone! In this video, we will do a quadratic equation application problem. Find the two consecutive positive even numbers whose product is 960. The first thing we want to do is that we're looking for two numbers that we don't know. So let's give them variables. Since the first one is going to be our first unknown, let's make it x. Then the second one, we do know something about it though. It is consecutive positive even. Even numbers are two numbers apart. So I am going to go with the second one because it's consecutive. It'll be built off of the first one. So I'm going to start with x. If the first one is 2 and the next one needs to be its consecutive even number, it needs to be 2 away. So we'll add 2. That's like 2 to 4 or 6 to 8 and so forth. Now we do know something about these numbers. These numbers, product is 960. Product means that we multiply. So I'm going to multiply the first times the second, and the result is 960. Let's go ahead and solve for our variable. To do that, we need to do the distributive so that we don't have these parentheses anymore, which gives us x squared plus 2x. And this equals 960. Now let's go ahead and bring it over to the left side so that we get minus 960 from both sides. And then we have x squared plus 2x minus 960 equals 0. Now we have a couple of ways of solving a quadratic equation. We can try and factor this, or we could just go ahead and use the quadratic equation. Let's go ahead and do that method. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If you're having a hard time memorizing that, then there's a mnemonic to sing the quadratic equation to Pop Goes the Weasel, and you can look that up. Here we go, entering in our a, b, and c, a, b, and c. X equals negative parenthesis, b is 2, plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times a is 1, and c is negative 960. And I have to extend that all over 2 times a is 1. And now we can go ahead and start calculating this. X equals negative times 2 is negative 2, plus or minus the square root. 2 squared is 4. And then we have negative 4 times positive 1 is negative 4. And negative 4 times negative 960 in my calculator is plus 3,840. All of that is over 2 times 1, which is 2. Let's continue. 3,840 plus 4 is, we have negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 3,844 over positive 2. I'm going to type that into my calculator and see if it's a perfect square, which it is. Negative 2 plus or minus 62. All over 2. Then we can simplify that as well. So we'll break it into two equations, and we have negative 2 plus or minus 62, and we'll put them both over the denominator of 2. And so we end up with, I'm running out of room again, negative 1 plus or minus 62 divided by 2 is 31. And then we have negative 1 plus 31 and negative 1 minus 31 as our two answers. Negative 1 plus 31 is 30, and negative 1 minus 31 is negative 32. Now let's go back and see what the instructions were. They said these are two consecutive positive even numbers. Since negative 32 is negative, it's not going to be our answer. So we have one answer, positive 30. So our first one, x equals 30. And then we'll do 30 plus 2 for the second, which makes 32. So our two positive consecutive even numbers are 30 and 32.